Bribery scandals in recent U.S. history seems finally to be at an end. Top former CIA official Kyle "Dusty" Foggo has been sentenced to 3 years in jail for fraud. He was accused of helping give CIA contracts to a company owned by his childhood friend, even though the company had no background in the services required. To discuss this, we're now joined by Jerry Kammer, an investigative journalist who's worked on this story and a Pulitzer Prize winner. Mr. Kammer, thank you very much for joining us. The prosecutors recently uncovered a number of additional documents in a bid to see Mr. Foggo go to prison for dozens of years, but they failed to change the sentence. Why did they fail, and what are these documents that they disclosed?
Well, this sentence was the result of a deal that Mr. Foggo cut with the prosecutors. The prosecutors originally charged him with 28 counts, 28 separate offenses for which he could have been sent to jail for many, many years. But Mr. Foggo committed a form of blackmail with the prosecutors, basically saying that if they charged him on all 28 counts, in order to present his defense, he would have to compromise the identity of CIA sources with whom he had worked in other countries. In cases like this, instead of being called blackmail, it's called gray mail. It has happened in other cases, and as in other cases, the prosecutors felt that they had no choice but to remove most of the charges, charge him with one count to which he agreed to plead guilty, and federal sentencing guidelines for this one offense were limited and limited the discretion of the judge.
As an investigative journalist, how often have you seen similar cases of corruption of this scale during your career?
Well, unfortunately, I saw one other case that is actually tied to this case. The Foggo case is an outgrowth of a case that began 4 years ago involving a congressman from California named Randy Duke Cunningham, who now is in jail serving an 8-year sentence on bribery. One of the men who bribed Congressman Cunningham was a defense contractor, the same man with whom Dusty Foggo worked, trying to steer him CIA contracts. This has been called the largest case of bribery in the history of the U.S. Congress, and Cunningham has been called the most corrupt congressman in U.S. history.
Mr. Kammer, many people see the Obama administration as a new dawn in American life. Do you expect the number of corruption cases to drop under his leadership?
Well, we certainly hope so, and there are indications that President Obama is going to try to achieve greater oversight of the use of federal dollars and federal contracts, with greater oversight than we saw from the Bush administration, for example, and the Bush administration's Congress, which were mostly in the hands of Republicans. That is difficult to achieve, however, with the CIA, because the CIA budget is not subject to public review, certainly not to investigative reporters, and not to most members of Congress. Our defense budget is mostly open to us, but the CIA gets special protections, and when they operate in the dark, that is unfortunately an invitation to funny business and sometimes to corruption.
Mr. Kammer, thank you very much for your analysis. Jerry Kammer, an investigative journalist and a Pulitzer Prize winner.